Hello, everybody. I'm Brian McKenna. I'm one of the analysts at Enterprise Strategy Group, and here I am at Infosecurity Europe 2024, not for the first time. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by my Computer Weekly colleague, Bill Goodwin, brilliant colleague, Bill Goodwin. Hi, Bill.
Hello, Brian. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I think I'm here in person, unless I'm an AI-generated avatar.
You could be, yes, that's
Very
entirely
difficult to tell.
possible.
I'm not sure.
That is entirely possible. So, Bill, I mean, I know you very well. We've worked together for a long time. Do you want to just very briefly say what you do for Computer Weekly as its investigations editor?
Yes, that's my job, investigations editor.
It is.
So I do longer, more in-depth
Yeah.
stories that take
Yeah.
a bit of time and are revelatory, and dabble in data journalism a little bit and try and work with other journalists on big projects.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the work that Bill does is absolutely brilliant. I feel quite humbled to be interviewing him here because he has been interviewed by Emily Maitlis on Newsnight. And here you are at Infosecurity Europe being interviewed by someone you know very well.
Well, I think this is even better than being interviewed by Emily Maitlis.
Two kinds. So, Bill, I understand you've just come from a session on ransomware. Is that right?
I have, yes. That was very interesting. A guy from the City of London Police, one of the officers
Yeah.
there, talking about his experience of the numbers of people reporting ransomware going up, particularly
Still
from
going up.
they're
Okay.
still going up particularly from smaller companies, but there's still a great reluctance for companies to report to the
Yeah.
police because, particularly if they paid a ransom, it's a little bit awkward, and so companies are ringing up people like ex-police officers and saying, "Should I report this to the police or not?" And of course, the answer is it's better, always better to report it to
Yeah.
the police
Yeah.
because they can help.
They can help. It's always
Yeah.
been a problem. I mean, we've been covering security on and off for a long time. And that whole thing of reporting, do you report? Can you take the reputational risk, etc., etc.? It's always been a bit of an issue.
Well, one thing I learned today is that there is a triage process in place.
Uh-huh.
So there's a phone number on Action Fraud, and if you ring it, if you're a victim of ransomware, all the calls from people affected are triaged and will be allocated to a police force in order of priority, and hopefully at the end of it you'll get some help, because help in real time and help to recover and remediate.
Yeah, you always learn something new. I mean, you've been coming to InfoSec for a very long time, but so this morning, I think we were both in the keynote session. What did you, Henry Archer? What did you make of his keynotes? He's a big expert on deep fakery and synthetic media. Well, what did you make of it?
Well, Henry Adjay is a real expert in his field,
Yes.
and he knows an awful lot about deepfakes and disinformation.
Yeah.
And his presentation was actually quite worrying because
It was quite scary.
something that can affect anyone. You know, it's not businesses, and it's no longer confined to deep fakes of celebrities.
Yes.
Not that I would recognize a celebrity if I saw one, but particularly in the world of pop. But
you don't watch television very much, do you, Bill?
a little. I do watch it more these days.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was quite a scary presentation, actually, I would say, but interesting one. And also just the way that generative AI is turbocharging some of the attack possibilities. And,
Yeah, I think what is worrying, or what I thought was worrying, is the availability of AI tools that anyone can use, and with a 15-second snippet of your voice, or a 15-second video, can produce a reasonably convincing deep fake of you saying something
It was
that
amazing.
you haven't said.
Yeah. He showed that avatar of himself. That was very interesting. And also there just didn't really seem to be much of an answer to the issue actually, as he went through.
People are trying to find answers.
Yeah.
So there are tools you can get that are supposed to detect a fake AI generated movie or audio, but they're not very reliable, and different tools might come up with different answers.
Yeah.
So you end up with the opposite problem of something that's being real being branded a fake, and that's causing a few problems.
Yeah. I know he did talk about it's almost like a liar's charter in a way, because you could say, well, how do we know that that's not a deep fake? Someone like Elon Musk could say, I'm being deep faked all the time. So there is that.
Well, it's now becoming a line of defense in legal cases that this evidence you submitted of a video of me saying this could be a deep fake.
Could be a deep fake.
And you can't prove it's not. And actually you can't prove it's not. You can, but it's very hard. Yeah.
And some of the really kind of high profile things here have to do with elections and politics, and especially in the United States, but also in the UK as well. But you wrote a story quite recently, Bill, which I read, which is about kind of parliamentarians. It's a committee that's helped me out with the name of the committee. It's the National Security Committee, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Margaret Beckett chairs. And they've been warning around our election on the 4th of July of the possibility of hostile states, Russia, China, North Korea, maybe kind of using this kind of deep fakery and other forms of cyber attack to influence our election. Tell us a little bit more about that story.
Well, the committee are concerned that many of the countermeasures that have been introduced won't actually come into force until the end of the election.
Yeah.
So, particularly Ofcom, the regulator, will not really have its powers in place to regulate social media and to take down deep fakes or election-related disinformation until the end of the year, which is unfortunately after the end of the election. So they're very concerned about that, and they're very concerned that tech companies don't seem to be tackling the issue in any sort of coordinated way. So each of them are doing their own thing and have their own policies. And
it's interesting because that democratization of attack that you were talking about, that's one sort of thing. But when you have very well-funded hostile state actors using this kind of technology, it's more serious than a lot of people realize.
Yes, well, we've already seen Russia and China trying to hack into the personal email addresses of MPs and politicians, and China have had a go, apparently unsuccessfully, but they did hack into the electoral register, which means that potentially the Chinese have details of every voter in the UK.
Wow. And there's also this Star Blizzard Russian group, which has been active.
So Star Blizzard, we wrote about that a couple of years ago, and that's a Russian phishing operation.
Yeah.
And I think we were the first to attribute it to the Russian Secret Service. It was an FSB affiliate.
Right.
And they hacked into quite a few prominent people's emails.
They did, yes.
So they go after high-profile individuals, including the former head of MI6, Sir Richard Dearlove.
Yeah.
They went out after Paul Mason's emails. He's a journalist.
Former Computer Weekly journalist.
Former
as well.
Computer Weekly journalist.
Yeah.
A number of MPs, academics.
And I guess the whole geopolitical context at the moment is just going to generate more and more of this
Yes.
threat and amplification of this threat.
If, as we learned today, if you combine that with artificial intelligence and AI-generated phone calls and images and phishing emails, which can be generated by AI, personalized by AI, and sent off en masse to many people very quickly, then I think there's going to be a much bigger threat from phishing and email hacking.
So this, Bill, is day one of the conference. Are you coming back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow and hopefully on Thursday as well.
Anything you're looking forward to tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow there are a couple of interesting sessions.
Yeah.
One is about security of the supply chain. So you might not be hacked, but your suppliers might be.
Yes.
So that's a real issue. And there's another one on spyware, and again, how that can be used to infect your phone, get access to your emails, phone calls, etc. So I think those are my two highlights, but there's lots of others.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Infosecurity is, it's a big trade show. There's a lot of people selling things here, but at the same time, underlying it all, there is this kind of good guys versus bad guys, adversarial situation, and all these kind of big picture political stories to do with the security of nation states and things like that, which is very much your bag and the sort of thing that you look at for Computer Weekly.
Yeah, it's true. So there's everything here from the nuts and bolts of how security technology works to the big geopolitical picture.
Yeah.
And everything in between. And if you're a chief information security officer, how do you deal with this?
Well, we're always very lucky to have you on the Computer Weekly team, Bill. Thanks so much for taking some time to come by the booth and be interviewed. Very good of you. Thank you. Can't thank you enough. Thank you so much indeed. And you guys, thank you so much for watching us. So from Infosecurity, for the time being, bye-bye.